Hello, welcome to Jackrabbit Journal. Tom Neiman along with Hank McCall. And the Jackrabbit football team opens up the season at TCU. The Horned Frogs are going to be a contender in the Big 12. This is a really, really good team, but the Jacks gave them a game all the way through until maybe the last 7 or 8 minutes of the game.
Oh, they certainly did. They did exactly what they needed to, which was come out, I thought anyway, and played this game early on as if they absolutely expected to win this football game. Didn't see any nerves, any jitters like that. Sure, there were some young guys here and there that maybe you saw some of that from, but the leaders of this team, they were ready to go.
Jacks come out and pick off 2 passes in the first half. They take a 17-7 lead midway through the second quarter. TCU came up in this hurry-up offense. It was brutal to hang up or to keep up with for the Jacks, but they did a pretty good job of it.
Brutal's the correct term. For the first game of the season, for a defense to have to roll it out against an offensive unit that runs that many plays in that fashion, yeah, they certainly would have played themselves into condition this past Saturday if they weren't ready coming in.
Taryn Christian starts at quarterback, throws for 333 yards, no interceptions, 2 touchdowns to Jake Winicky, another one to Dallas Goedert. TC was pretty good in this game.
He was very good. He was very accurate, and he was very confident, in my opinion. Taryn, he made a number of throws, which were exactly the type of throws that win you the starting quarterback position coming out of fall camp. Very impressive. Still plenty for him to work on and to get better at moving forward, but an excellent outing for him.
All right, it ends up 59-41 the final. Jacks do give up 660 yards. TCU is going to put up some big numbers on some Big 12 teams this year. But anyway, Jake Winicky, 8 catches, 2 touchdowns. In the last 3 years in FBS games at TCU, Kansas, and Missouri, 22 catches, 460 yards, 4 touchdowns for Jake Winicky. And we'll see him in the highlights coming up. And when we come back, Coach Stig will take you through the big plays of the first half at TCU.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and Service First Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back. Jackrabbit football opener at TCU, and the Horned Frogs were 37-point favorites in this game. That did not play out, certainly. Still, probably the best team the Jacks have ever played. Here's Coach Stig.
Well, on paper and reputation, most recently, they're the best team we've played. You know, we played Nebraska, and we didn't play Nebraska in their heyday, you know, when they were winning national championships. So I would say yes.
Regardless of that, the goal in these games is always to go win the game, right?
Well, it is, and for some people, they think it's crazy. You know, they think, you know, just go down and don't get hurt. You know, well, the guys in the locker room, they believe in themselves, and so why not? Our top goal every week is 1-0, so apply it.
All right, let's get into the highlights here. And nice little stadium down there in Fort Worth, Texas, and you got off to a pretty good start here.
Yeah, well, I was talking to the coach pregame, and they spent a lot of money recently. You know, here we hit Jake coming out. One of our goals is we're tight to the end zone. We want to get at least 2 first downs. That's what we did in this first down, but we stalled out.
Yeah, hit Winicky a couple of times here. You go 9 plays on this drive, but it was a positive start, wasn't it?
It was a positive start, and we got out of that bad field position, gave ourselves a chance to kind of turn the field a little bit.
TCU came out, especially this first series, and played lightning fast, and they had some shifty runners.
We knew they were going to do that, especially when they're fresh. But there you can see the difference in athletic ability from the Missouri Valley and the Big 12. I mean, there's some fast guys. This was bad play here. You know, our corner kind of overplayed what he thought was going to be a post, and the young man runs an out, and just slow down, do your job, master your ability. And here we slip. We should be tight to that. Cody Hazley gets a little out too far upfield. And then again, the play was supposed to go to their left. He's so athletic, he breaks all the way back to the right.
All right, so TCU gets out to a 7-0 lead here, but here's their next drive, and Kellen Solik makes a play here, and then Christian Benaziak's going to put some pressure on. This was the way to play deep.
And that was what we call the strength of our defense, the defensive line. Kellen and Christian are part of it. Here we get him on a twist, and Christian gets in there, forces a bad throw, and 3 and outs are good. They're really good.
All right, Jack's next drive coming up here, and Taryn will go to Dallas Goedert for 28 yards here to get down inside their 10-yard line.
Yeah, this is a bit of a trick play. We're in unbalanced pro formation, what we call pro, and We told the officials about it so they didn't call us for it because it's legal. It just looks a little different. Great planning by our offensive staff.
And you get it to 1st and goal, but a couple of runs for no gain, and then Chase Vinatieri makes good on a field goal.
You know, you want to get points, but man, you want to, and we talked to the offensive staff, they feel the same way. You need to get touchdowns down there.
They threw everything at you, a little Statue of Liberty here.
Well, they work to get the ball in that young man's hands. He's a phenomenal player, great speed, and you can see another play later on where he impacts the game.
All right, we turn around here, 2nd quarter. This is still that same drive. They get it down, 1st and goal at the 4. Solik makes a nice play here.
Great job by holding the line of scrimmage and stringing it out and allow people to get there.
And that leads to this.
Yeah, a couple penalties, gets them back. They need to throw the ball, and great play by Micaiah Slade there, and celebrate with your teammates. Get excited, but celebrate with your teammates. But that's a huge play in that football game because what happens right after it.
Boy, this is 4 plays after that, and here goes Isaac Wallace.
Just a great job of running the power straight up field. Our fat guys do a great job. There's a crack there, and they're fast. Watch this. They're a fast football team because Isaac might be the fastest guy. Now, he's got to get in the end zone. That was disappointing because that could have resulted in a fumble. I understand the excitement, but it's not a touchdown until you cross the goal line.
All right, Wallace goes 87 yards. Jack's up 10-7, and then this is TCU's next play.
Yeah, a great call here by Clint Brown, our defensive coordinator. That literally is what Jordan's supposed to do, sit inside the wide receiver, kind of bait him, and obviously he's got to make the play, and he makes the play.
And then that leads to a touchdown, Taryn Christian on a 12-yard run.
Yeah, this is a called pass. Does a good job of seeing guys covered. They were in man-to-man, so it opens wide open, and he gets in the end zone. You know, that's one of the positives of Taryn Christian. He's a great athlete.
And you look up at the scoreboard, you're up 17-7 at this point on TCU. But the last 4 minutes of the half here, here's the punt to Turpin, the guy you were talking about before.
Yeah, this is just, we weren't supposed to punt it to him. We're supposed to pin him into the short side. We'd done that for the game, and we knew this could happen. We knew there's a good chance of this happening because of his athletic ability. And then Brady hit such a great punt, it was just a little too far to the middle of the field.
Yeah, a lot of room on that field for these guys with that speed. So it's still 17-14, Jacks on top. Next drive, though, the fumble by Taryn.
Yeah, just, got the ball out. You got bounced around a little bit. Now, we could have jumped on the ball there while that guy was picking it up. I think it was Seth Landsman, should have just jumped on the ball instead of knocked him down, and it saved some points.
So they got to go only 12 yards here. They do get a touchdown to go back up 21-17, but you guys get the ball back here with a minute and a half left and go right to work.
Yeah, I mean, again, we went up the field like 40 seconds. It was really impressive, 2-minute drill, and people question that. You know, we got a great return, kickoff return, and we decided let's play bold. Let's play every play like it's our last, and great job by our offense.
Jack's back up 24-21. TCU runs 9 plays in 47 seconds. Micaiah Slade makes a play here that holds him to a field goal.
Yeah,
that's Zy Mosley.
Zy Mosley, and that's some of his first play for the Jacks. Was really impressed with our young corners, and man, he caught that. It would have been a different scenario too.
But we put that in there partly because Mosley made some plays. Anthony Washington started at corner along with Jordan Brown, and that was one of the questions. But those guys played pretty well, especially in that first half.
Yeah, Marshawn Harris, true freshman, played some. So really excited about their development.
24-24 at halftime. It's a good half.
Yeah, we went down there to try to win the football game. I'm not out of my mind. They're a good program, and we weren't giddy about being 24. In fact, we were 24-24. We were a little disappointed that we weren't ahead, but we had a chance to win the football game.
Well, TCU pulls away in the third quarter. Jackrabbits keep coming back, and we are back with the second half next. Welcome back. So SDSU and TCU tied at 24 at the half, and the Jackrabbits doing their best to keep up with an offense that was coming at them fast and furious.
It's scary in a lot of ways. The up-tempo thing puts a lot of pressure on everybody on our defensive staff, players, all that, but then they spread you out with really good athletic ability, and so your ability to corral those type of people it's really tough.
Yeah, we'll see some of that here in the second half. This is TCU's first drive of the second half, and Kenny Hill, their transfer from Texas A&M, steps up, turns into a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah, one of the things I was disappointed in was our pass rush, and there he had way too much time and wandered around, and guys are going to get open. Now Jordan Brown just needed to wrap up and tackle him and make him drive the field, but especially early in that second half, you're not tired yet.
So they hit you right away, go up by touchdown, come right back at him, though. Goddard again here for 35 yards.
Another great game plan, another play action early, in a first down situation to draw their safety up, and a really good throw by Taryn.
And then this was nice on the touchdown.
Yeah, this is not a trick play, but a design delay to Dallas. Got a lot of things going on in the backfield. Hopefully they lose them at the line of scrimmage. And again, I thought our offensive staff, our whole staff did a really good job.
Tie it back up at 31 in the third quarter here. TCU scores back-to-back touchdowns here, though. There's so much speed on this team.
There is, but then I'll take your alignment so that they can't get there. And, to me, I call that fifth grade football. We know who's getting the ball there. Let's get in position to tackle the guy, and we don't.
And then they spread it out again, though. There's so many things to keep track of, and then Hill takes it right at the middle.
And we didn't think he was going to run the football in the game. We didn't see that when he was at Texas A&M. And so credit to their staff, and we have a design to twist to try to prevent that. We didn't have it in for that play.
So it's 45-31, but the Jack's not done yet. Christian keeps this play alive, and Isaac Wallace makes something out of it.
Yeah, Isaac runs a lot of yards to get these 12 yards here, but again, a really good player, and Christian's ability allows us to make that play.
And this was a thing of beauty, Christian to Winicky.
Yeah, good play action. They traded it off. Jake has a way of running and not letting the DB know the ball's coming, putting his hand out late. It just again, he had a really good game.
He does catch it late. That's a good term, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, he's deceptive is another way to look at it.
All right, so it's 45-38. We get to the fourth quarter here. Jack's forced a 3-and-out. And then another breakup here by Zy Mosley. Just closes on the ball really well.
Yeah, really, he can run. He's a big corner. He's, he's a pup. He's going to get better every play. Excited about his future.
All right, first play of the next drive. Winicky goes by two defenders, and Taryn puts it right where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, again, he screens the defenders. I don't know what these guys, if you look at them, they kind of look at each other after the play. And, Jake is just a really special player. And give credit to the fat guys. Taryn had time to throw the ball.
But again, get it down there, and then after a penalty and a sack, turns into another field goal.
Yeah, we needed to get that touchdown and even it up again, but really happy with what what Chase did with the kicking game.
So it's 45-41, TCU in the lead, about 12 minutes left in the game, and then they go on a long drive here and convert a couple of third downs.
I talk about as a defensive coach, grab cloth. We had two guys touch him. You got to think that your fingers got to get a hold of something when you tackle a guy. That's simple mechanics and tackling.
Another third down conversion here on a 3rd and 4.
Yeah, again, too much time. We had good pass defense initially, but he had too much time for them to find the hole in the defense.
And then, seriously, what happens here?
Well, we play good defense. They run the jog route. You can see it down here at the bottom, and Dallas has got them covered. We're in man-to-man. It's our Sam linebacker running with one of their wide receivers, bats the ball away, and Fluke, that the guy that ran the deep route, was standing there, and we'll get some of those too in our season.
And they doinked in a field goal. They caught a couple of breaks in this game, and it ends up 59-41. But good enough is not good enough, right?
No, it's not. There are a lot of positives in the football game. Our effort was good. There's some things we can work on, obviously, but we needed to put ourselves in a position to win that at the end, and we didn't.
All right. Thoughts on Taryn Christian as the starter quarterback in this game?
I thought a number of things. Number one, his athletic ability opens up some things for the offense. I thought his poise was really good. His knowledge, because he made some checks in that game that nobody knows he did other than the coaching staff, was really good. And that was a healthy game plan, and so I'm excited about it.
He held it a couple of times. It led to a couple of those sacks. But the offensive line, your thoughts on them?
I thought our offensive line played better than I thought they were going to be honest with you, because not who they are, but who they are facing. So I'm really excited about how they played.
Well, up next, we will go to the board with Hank and dissect a couple of outstanding defensive plays by the Jackrabbits. Welcome back. Let's go to the board, and we're going to talk about the 2 interceptions the Jackrabbits had in this game with our own former defensive back, Hank McCall. And this is the first one by Micaiah Slade out here at safety, Hank. And this is the 20-yard line. This is the goal line. Jacks are backed up here. And they're going to try to get it to this guy right here who just kind of comes on an inside here. Rosa Boone gives him a little shot there, and he's trying to get him right here in the middle of the field. What happens with Micaiah Slade?
Well, Micaiah does a great job on this play. And we'll take a step back a little bit. We knew coming into this game that TCU was going to want to spread SDSU's defense out, try to utilize their speed out on the edges, and really utilize their, who used to be a highly touted quarterback who had transferred from Texas A&M. They were going to let him wing it against this relatively young SDSU secondary, particularly the corners. So what we have here is the guys in a base look, really more of like a quarters look, where you've got 4 DBs across the edge, you've got 4 wide receivers. It ends up basically being man in the end. And on the seam here with this wide receiver, Micaiah does a great job of reading the quarterback's eyes. That's one thing that this highly touted guy did the entire day. He locked onto a wide receiver, and that's where he was going 9 out of 10 times. And so Micaiah does a good job of reading his keys, reading the quarterback's eyes. He gets a little bit of help from Christian Rosaboom, enough help, just to exactly what Christian was supposed to do, just to slightly reroute that wide receiver to make the quarterback put maybe just a little bit more air on it, and to reduce that angle just a bit. And a great break by number 6 coming across and making a big play for the guys, obviously in the red zone. Those are exactly the type of plays that the Jackrabbits need.
Turns into a touchdown run by Isaac Wallace that goes 87 yards the other way. All right, this is the other one by Jordan Brown. You got, again, sophomore at the corner here, sophomore Micaiah Slade out there at safety. You got Dallas Brown here, and this is the interception that leads to another touchdown. But again, they're going to try to get it to the slot guy here. Outside guy just goes. They run a little out here, and Brown jumps on it.
Absolutely. A great play by Brown. And we had talked about it in last week's Jackrabbit Journal. We understood that these guys needed to understand that their coaches were going to put them in position to make plays. And that's exactly what happened on this play. If you look at the play, you'll watch the guys coming out. It's almost 4 DBs. They're not quite on a level plane. You've got the 2 high safeties, and then you've got the corners who are actually a little ways further back. So they're not showing a true cover 2. They're disguising their coverage. And if you watch at the snap of the ball, the 2 corners, they freeze their feet, and they're reading the backfield, they're reading their keys, they see 3-step. Jordan does a fantastic job of sitting tight, seeing 3-step, jumping the route, and making another big play for the Jacks.
Again, as you said, Kenny Hale just looks right at this guy the entire way, and Brown was on it from the get-go, right?
You bet.
All right, 2 big plays by the Jackrabbits secondary. Good to see as we head into this week against Drake. And we'll be right back. We'll take you through the new stadium in Brookings with Athletic Director Justin Sell.
Jackrabbit Journal on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, Dakota Land Honda, and Service First Federal Credit Union.
Welcome back. The Jackrabbits popped the top on Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium this weekend. We took the tour with SDSU Director of Athletics, Justin Sell.
You have pretty high expectations, and then you walk in here and it just blows those expectations away. Pretty special experience for all of us, certainly in the athletic department.
And a lot of times you have a wish list of how you want it to be. I think you had everything on the wish list got done, didn't it? Really?
Yeah, we really were able to do all the things that we set out to do. You know, as we move down the road, there's a couple things we put into a couple phases. Certainly some video boards or ribbon boards, and then scoreboard on the north end. Those are things that we'll need to get to because we want our students to have access to the information without turning around and having to look at a video board. Outside of those things, and that was all just part of cost of the construction project and what we could fit in. Everything else, we got everything and more. You stand down on the field and it really feels like you're in the Big 10 or Big 12. I mean, it feels like 50,000 seats, and yet there's 19,300. Every seat's a great seat. It's going to provide a personal experience. And then we have the ability to take everything from someone walking up to the window and buying a ticket all the way up to the most premium experience, to do everything in between. And that's something that we couldn't do in Coughlin Alumni Stadium. We want everybody in the state to have a chance to come in and experience this building. And so we've got prices. You can buy season tickets for the same price, frankly, as last year. And all the way up to low seats and club seats and suites. And even the suite level, you know, our suite holders, we created those spaces. There's lots of windows. It's very light. There's alcoves with furniture because they wanted places to gather and talk to each other. They really didn't want it really private. They wanted it more open. And the opportunity for us to kind of bring tailgating inside and that feel of what is tailgating. It's all of us getting together as family and friends and enjoying a football Saturday. And you can definitely bring that right here into the stadium.
And Club 71 is part of that, named for Dana J. Dykehouse.
Yeah, and I think, you know, obviously from a game day perspective, we have 1,200 club seats, and so a place for them to gather, to be able to get some food and beverage and socialize. We can do some more things pre-game and post-game that we've never been able to do. We can pipe in the post-game broadcasts and interviews and those kinds of things. But, you know, to be able to use it year-round. And that's really the difference here. Is this was not built just for 6 Saturdays in the fall. This was built to do some different things, to support our campus, to support our community, and to bring people in from all over to experience Brookings and what SDSU has to offer.
And you look out here, we're on the media level here, the top level.
it's just, there's nice views all around. It's just something that is so unique. It's never happened before at Brookings.
No, you know, I last year when we opened half the stadium, I kind of walked to the top side of the east side, and I kind of looked around, and you think about the northeast corner of our campus and just how much it's changed in the last 3 years, and the growth is tremendous. It really communicates the vision of this university. We've had growth with new academic buildings and expansions to the Union, new residence halls, and then to be able to bring in a couple athletic buildings that from this corner of campus, when you come in, it's just communicating a high-level Division I first-class message about what we do here at our university and what Brookings is all about. I couldn't be more proud of how this all turned out.
It's kind of your baby. It's been, what, 3 years, at least 3 years in the making, right?
Yeah, I
like
got here in 2009, and in that first year, President Sheikman and I really laid out the overall athletic facility master plan and how that might fit in with the campus master plan. So it's been a good 6+ years of from conceptualizing and trying to figure out, and then which ones to do first, and then how to raise the money and where the interest is. But yeah, it's been the last 3 years between the Sanford Jackrabbit Athletic Complex and the Dana J. Dykehouse Stadium. Yeah, there's a labor of love to it. You know, you put in so much time and you work through every detail, and you kind of get lost in the trees for a while. And then you get to walk in like every other fan, and we get to see this and experience it, and it's just magical. It's such a great time to be at SDSU.
So you got the concerts in there on Thursday, and then the Jacks will host Drake on Saturday at 6 o'clock in the first football game. We will have it live on Midco Sports Network. We'll see you in Brookings on Saturday.